the Scientific Development Model for Individuals by the Personal Change Trainer. That's me. My name is Brock Stout. I'm a career coach. I help people with personal change. Companies hate change, I discovered after years of consulting. Organizations try to change. For example, they try to change corporate culture, implement new programs, change the compensation or reward systems. But over 70% of change initiatives fail. Homeostasis pulls them back, even if it requires sabotage. In biology, homeostasis keeps the living systems of organisms steady. For example, a dog becomes too hot and starts panting. A cold squirrel might shiver and warm up again. Homeostasis keeps organisms alive. People also hate change. We seek psychological homeostasis. So when we try to change, we're pulled back. The change doesn't stick. Pressure to change can come from outside or from inside ourselves, but either way, we try to stop the change. We always go back to who we think we really are. I developed a new approach for personal change. It combines leading models from organizational change and the total quality management field. It focuses on measurement and iteration. Following is an introduction to the theory. The story starts in Sioux City, Iowa, in the year 1900 when W. Edward Deming was born. He was a statistician. He loved math. He developed a formula that is still used by the US Census Bureau and decided to apply his skills to finding a system to improve manufacturing quality. During this time, back in Asia, Japan was building an empire. The Allies decided to stop it and they destroyed Japan. The devastated country became impoverished. Back in the US, industry was humming. But Deming kept working and decided that he had figured out a system for improving industrial quality. And there was some interest from industry, but what they said was, we can't make stuff fast enough to sell. We're the only country that still has full industrial capacity. So they said, thanks, but no thanks. Meanwhile, back in Japan, Douglas MacArthur needed help rebuilding. He found that he sometimes couldn't even get a phone call to go through because the infrastructure had been destroyed. So he convinced Deming to come over and help him. While he was there, he was contacted by Japanese industrial leaders, such as the president of Toyota, and asked if he could teach their system, his system to them. So he consulted with Japanese industrialists about how to use his scientific method of management. They listened and they implemented his system. Deming had borrowed a model from physicist and engineer Walter Schruhart. The model is a cycle with 4 steps. In the first step, you plan, then you implement, next check or analyze how it went, then act or adjust based on information gathered during the previous steps. An organization can loop through the cycle over and over until perfection is reached. Japanese engineers modified the cycle. Taiichi Ono, the father of the Toyota production system, said progress cannot be generated when we are satisfied with existing situations. Ono was born in Dalian, China, when it was part of the Japanese Empire. In Japan, he worked as a supervisor for Toyota. He began studying the Deming principles and eventually developed the Toyota production system. He visited General Motors and Ford plants in the US, but his aha moment came when he was there in a supermarket, something that was still not available in Japan in 1956. He saw that customers took what they needed, but only what they needed when they needed it. Manufacturing should flow efficiently like that, he thought. Eventually, Ono created a system. For example, he recognized 7 muda, or categories of production waste, something that's still used in the TQM methodology. Within 20 years, Japan moved from third world country to economic superpower, becoming the world's second largest economy. Around 1980, US companies finally recognized they needed to change. They began traveling to Japan to learn. They asked Dr. Deming to teach them about TQM, or total quality management. Now the whole world is more efficient. Adjusted for inflation, most goods and services are less expensive than they used to be. What I do is I help individuals to progress. So I've combined some systems together, and I've created a new system, and I teach people how to use it for changing their lives. Because Deming himself had said that the first step is transformation of the individual. The individual transformed will perceive new meaning to his life, to events, to numbers, to interactions between people. Do you want to transform? What is the one process that, if improved, would make your life awesome? Repairing a mindset, leveraging a learning disability, becoming more creative, thinking more clearly, becoming disciplined, becoming bolder, starting a business. Unfortunately, most change initiatives fail. I will show you how to be more successful using this scientific development model. This pattern can be applied to create excellence in any endeavor. Early on in my career, I chose a multidisciplinary training approach. This is because I believe that big problems must be attacked from multiple angles at the same time. Also, I can draw on a wide diversity of life experience. I've interviewed over 6,000 executives. I'm in the process developing some data about success. I've coached numerous individuals to become multimillionaires. I've earned a PhD in training and development. I've trained entrepreneurs and executives from 22 countries. I lived in Japan for 14 years, beginning in 1985, and studied Japanese industrial methods. I've started and operated several small businesses, both international or cross-border and home-based. As a professor in university, I've taught both entrepreneurship and international business. I'll put the interest form link in the comments below. The model has been extensively used by many industries. Why not apply it to yourself? You can analyze your individual situation and improve your life. Or I can help you do it. I'm a career trainer, and I've created this system for building competencies in individuals. I can help you learn to use the system in your career and personal life. It's based on Kaizen, the philosophy of continuous improvement. So the scientific development model for individuals, are you interested in how the cycle can help you? Shoot me an email. Life is complicated. When we take a beginning statistics class, we learn how one variable can sometimes influence another variable. We become concerned with sample sizes and proper calculations. But as we discover when continuing in the research field, real life presents messy situations. Usually, we have multiple variables, and variables interact with each other to create more complicated outcomes. There's specialized software that can help understand variable relationships, but interpreting it is very difficult. And that makes measurement difficult, but it also creates the diversity and richness of the real world. You should try to measure success because if you don't keep score, why play the game? A good coach can help you isolate variables to improve planning. I've come across various coaching approaches: the rah approach, the therapy approach, the consulting approach, the organizational behavior approach, the empowerment approach, the secret approach, and others that are popping up. What I found is that willpower doesn't bring lasting change. I've coached numerous people to success. I've conducted research on change management in my graduate work. I've discovered that people don't normally succeed with personal change through imaging or applying more willpower. Lasting change involves three things: removing a wall that prevents change, changing the method of changing, following a proven process. Do you want to make the change stick? Curious about the details? Please contact me.